You're here to find out what special, specific message Spirit has for you this week. And that's from the 21st of November to the 27th of November 2020. I'm Kylie Savage Psychic, and this is your Pick a Pile weekly Oracle card reading. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. And if you've been watching along for a while, then welcome back. I'm loving seeing the subscribers, our group here grow. That's just fantastic. I'm loving that. But yeah, if you're totally new to me, please go over and like my Facebook page. That's Kylie Savage Psychic. And make sure you stick around here by liking, commenting, subscribing, and hitting that little bell so that you get notified of when these videos come out. And when you go over to Facebook, you will see that I also have a free group on Facebook where I teach you how to read oracle cards for yourself and other people. And it's called Kylie's Oracle Circle. I would love to see you there. If you answer the 3 questions, it will pop you in the group automatically. I am in the process of creating some great video content for the Oracle Circle. You're not going to get it anywhere else, only in the Oracle Circle. And I'm going to be taking you through the 1 card reading, 2 card reading, all the way up to a 6 card reading, which is really going to assist and support you and take your reading ability to the next level. Now, why would we want to read oracle cards? Because oracle cards are the most amazing tool to co-create your life with Spirit and to navigate your destiny. So if you have any questions about oracle cards, and you don't even need your own oracle card deck to join the Oracle Card Circle, I'll show you how to access oracle cards for free as well. But yeah, if you ever have any questions about oracle decks, all those sorts of things, then please get in touch with me. On my Facebook page, I now have a hashtag #AskMe. So, and I may actually change it to Ask Me Any Day. So if you have any questions about oracle cards, psychic development, my work, readings, anything like that, then you can comment on those posts and I will answer them as soon as I can. I've been in this business I'm looking up because I'm accessing the recesses of my memory. I have to go a long way back. It's over 20 years now, and I've been working as a professional and running my own business for 9 years, so almost 10 years at the end of this year. I have a wealth of experience, wisdom, and resources that I can share with you. And another thing I have, if you would like to start working with me, one of the best ways you can do that, only for November, is go ahead and book my November 2-for-1 special. So when you book a mini psychic reading with me, you get to ask me 2 questions for the price of 1. And I would really love to help women in business. Women in business who are facing some challenges, they need to make some decisions about their business, and they'd like to go ahead and make those decisions not feeling so uncertain or anxious about them. So what I do is create a psychic prescription with oracle cards to be able to give you that clarity, that confidence, that reassurance, that reconnection with Spirit, so that you can go ahead and make the decisions that you need to, so that you can keep succeeding and making progress in your business. If that sounds terrific to you, you can just go ahead right now, stop this video and book that reading. Go to www.kyliesavage.com. And remember, my last name is spelled Savigge. I think I'll still pop up if you spell it the other way. But yeah, and if you ever have any problems, it's info@kyliesavage.com. Everything is set up there on the website. There's a booking button as soon as you land on my homepage. Okay, terrific. How has your week been so far? I found it's been full on. I've been learning so much. I've had access to so many resources, and I want to give you a quick tip. This is my manifestation daily tip. So what I do at the beginning of each day is I say, thank you, Spirit. Thank you for all the amazing, beautiful gifts of love I've received today as per my intention, or according to my intention, however you want to say that. Under grace, in a perfect way. Never forget that last part. Always remember to add that in, under grace in a perfect way. That makes sure that any gift comes to you, it comes to you in the most perfect way possible. And there's no, unfortunate or unforeseen consequences of your manifestation. Very important. So, thank you, Spirit, that I have received so many wonderful, beautiful, amazing gifts of love as per my intention, under grace in a perfect way. If you're not sure, let me know. I'll send it to you in a message. So I have received so many amazing gifts today. Over this last week. And so many have been free, but value packed. And I'm going to give you another tip. If you're a woman in business and you're on Facebook, or you're okay with going and joining Facebook, go over and send a join request to the Heart-Centered, Soul-Based or Soul-Driven Entrepreneurs Group. I will put a link in the comments as well. It's run by a lady called Tash Corbin, who is a business coach, and she's a business coach extraordinaire. And I've been doing the 5-day client attraction challenge, and I've been getting so much out of it. I've tweaked my business, I've taken action each day, and I'm seeing the results. So if you're a woman or someone who identifies as mostly female, then go ahead and send a join request to that group, Heart-Centered, Soul-Based or Soul-Driven Entrepreneurs Group. So that's my tips. They're my tips, and I'm waving goodbye to you. I don't know why. It's Friday. Okay, cut me some slack. Now, I need for you to just take a breath. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Shoulders dropping away from your ears. Isn't that nice? Let's do that again. And out. Arriving in this moment, hands on heart. And I want for you to pick a number between 1 and 3. And that will be the number of the pile of cards from which I will draw 2 so Spirit can give you a message that's a little bit more relevant, a little bit more pertinent for you and for whatever is going on specifically for you in your life right now. Okay, all good? Let's go ahead and do this reading. So I'm reading once again from the Wisdom of Avalon, and I'm really enjoying these pick a pile readings. When you have been reading for as long as I have, it's really good to change it up. That was the first deck I ever got. Okay, so I'm asking the question, what is it? Oh no, sorry. I'm asking, how can we love ourselves forward this week and experience more success in our life? I was thinking of Oliver. More. Who doesn't want more? Come on, more please, sir. Who doesn't want more success in their life? Because you're already successful. You just want to keep building upon that and take it to the next level. All right, are you ready? So if you chose pile number 1, your card is the Death card. These are what we call the journey markers in Wisdom to Avalon. Now, don't have a heart attack, okay? This is not tarot. In the good tarot, Colette actually changed the Death card to transformation, and that's all that death symbolizes. And I'm losing my headphones. It's a really, really good sign. I know you're like, and it's of a beach, so you've come to the edge of something, and all it means is you're now ready to say goodbye to one chapter of your life. You're now ready to completely and fully let go and release it. Perhaps an old idea of you is dying. Perhaps you are standing right on the edge, right on the precipice of true transformation and change, and you're ready to make that leap. You may be feeling terrified. That's okay. We all do it. Shaking in our boots. It gets easier with time and practice. But, you may be really super fearful, and yet some part of you, your soul is calling for this change, for you to make that leap. And this card is saying to you, it's already happening. Sometimes, it's like our soul's ready for it. Part of our consciousness has already leapt ahead into the future, and the change is already happening. It's just our mind, is a little bit slower to the party, and it has to catch up. We have to wait for it. We have to wait for our body and our mind to catch up and join the party and consolidate this change. So it could also be, you're revolutionizing your finances, your business, a relationship, a friendship, your body image, your health. You're renovating your health, and you're ready to let go of the old you. That's what I'm really feeling. Those of you I'm talking to who picked pile number 1, that's That's the message I'm really getting. The strongest from Spirit is you're ready for change. Part of you has already made that change. The rest of you just needs to catch up. And this is a good thing. I'd really like to hear how you go with it. Okay, and if you picked pile number 1, your second card is the Lady of the Lake. Now I love this. And see, she has a sword. She has a massive sword. And this is actually the Lady of the Lake from the King Arthur Camelot, legends. Was it Camelot that was the thing? Anyway, Avalon, I'm trying to remember, sorry, the actual myth or tale. And she presented the sword. She came up out of the lake, presented the sword, I think, to Arthur. I'm not sure. I have to read up on my Arthurian legends. Okay, so it says absolute truth, courage, self-respect, responsibility. So I look at this like Archangel Michael's sword. The Lady of the Lake is presenting you with the tool you need to make the transformation. And the tool you need is you need to cut your ties to the past. So cut the ties to the past, the old you, the old business model, the old body, the old, I'm saying in a health way. Don't go around cutting yourself. So, old ideas about yourself, friendships, relationships, things that aren't working. So I don't like to say cut. I always like to say dissolve. And a really good tip is to say, in the morning or at night, thank you, dear angels, for dissolving all the cords and ties to anything and everything that I no longer need. I also do the shower cleansing meditation every time you have a shower. See that white light coming down around the outside of your aura too, and see it dissolve any and all cords and ties to anything you no longer need and washing them down the drain. So, big week for those of you that pick pile number 1. I'm really excited for you. You're going to go through this transformation. It's already happening, and the tool is you need to dissolve these cords and ties. And also that the Lady of the Lake, she shows up because you might have resistance. It might come from other people, might come from yourself, and you need to cut your way through that. It's a little bit of a challenge. I don't like to say fight, but a little bit of a challenge. And you're going to be given all the resources you need to do this because she's your ally. So, thank our allies. Just put it out there to Spirit and angels. Say thank you, dear Spirit and my angels, for being my allies so that I can alchemize this change in my life. I can go ahead and do it, and the resistance just dissolves away. Awesome. I always think too, things like that, whatever we do, we're gaining experience which we can then pass on to other people. And that I found is the most beneficial experience, your own personal lived experience. Because when you pass on your words of wisdom, they have more weight. People can always tell if you're talking out of your butt. They really can. They say, oh, you want me to jump that puddle, but you haven't done it first. No, you haven't. That's why I'm always very careful in my work. I never encourage or suggest something that I haven't got any lived experience with, or I wouldn't be willing to try. Okay. Because sometimes Spirit do make suggestions for things that I haven't done, or they could be very similar to something that I have done. You've got to give a message of depth and weight if you're doing this work. Okay, pile number 2. If you chose pile number 2, your first card is the Deer. Oh, I love this. So the Deer is about self-care. It's about gentleness, diplomacy, but it's a really big self-care message. Those of you who picked pile number 2, you need to up-level your self-care. When the Deer comes along, that's the message. Take excellent care of you. Are you feeling run down? You're feeling exhausted? You're feeling burnt out? You're being snappy and crabby? You're feeling really, really tired? You go to bed and you sleep, but you wake up feeling tired, that sort of thing. It's time to look at the steps you need to take to prioritize your self-care and set some boundaries. And that diplomacy, that really is about boundaries to this card. Diplomacy is about setting a boundary by yelling at someone and saying you've had enough, you don't want to see them anymore. That's not the best way to do it, especially if you don't want, if you want to keep your friends. Setting a boundary by having a sit down, open, honest conversation with someone, or even over the phone saying, look, at the moment, I am feeling rather stressed or tired, and I don't have the energy to do this with you, and yet I appreciate the offer. And as soon as I'm feeling better, I'm going to get back in touch with you. And if the person says, oh, well, it's too late, well, then, that's another conversation. You say, well, I accept and understand that. Just leave it at that. So think about how you set boundaries and why you're setting them. I always say a really quick, simple way to see things is a yes to someone else is a no to you. One other tip is if you had a jar full of jelly beans at the beginning of every day, and every time you said yes to someone, you had to hand out those jelly beans, and they were like little pops of energy, and you just saw, the jelly beans go down the jar, and you think, no wonder I'm flat by the end of the day. I've got no energy. I gave it to everything else. I gave it to that TV show. I gave it to that radio program. I gave it to that friend, that neighbor, the kids, my partner. Yeah, every time I said no to me, and I prioritize someone else's needs above my own, and I sent all the jelly beans out, and I've got none left by the end of the day. Who is making these decisions? Sometimes you got to have boundaries with yourself. To get true self-respect and self-love, you've got to learn how to take care of yourself and how to say no to yourself as well. You've got to say, no, you keep those jelly beans in the jar for you at the end of the day. Any questions on boundaries, let me know. I have some good resources for those. It's something I've had to work on a lot myself. Can you tell? I keep losing my headphones today. They're just slipping off. Okay, card number 2. Oh, I love this. So you've got the butterfly. So what this is, you're taking really good care of yourself. You're implementing that this week ahead. Remember, I said it's how to love yourself forward to experience more success in your life. And the butterfly is also about transformation. And it's about what if the butterfly with the deer here, the message is, what if the way to feed your soul, to fill up your jelly bean jar, is to spend some time in nature, to change your space, do some decluttering, something like that, and encourage and invite the beauty back into your life. There's one person that I highly encourage you to go and look up and start following, and that's Cheryl Richardson. She is the most amazing life coach ever, and she teaches about extreme self-care. And she loves deers, so whenever I see the deer card, I think of Cheryl. Cheryl's been like what I call my wise mother. No offense to my own mother, who I've had for well over 20 years, probably 27, 28 years. I found her on Oprah. You find all good stuff, right? I'm also listening to the Oprah Winfrey The Own podcast, which has been terrific. There was one with Shirley MacLaine the other day. Okay, so bring in the beauty. That's going to feed your soul. It's going to reconnect you with yourself. It's going to, lock in those self-care practices and remind you, that life is meant to be joyful and life is here to be lived and savored and experienced. And, we're meant to experience pleasure in life. It's not meant to be a dreary drudge and trek through the mud of suffering. It's not what it's about, people. And that's my opinion. Take what you like, leave the rest. Okay, if you pick pile number 3, your 2 cards are the Wasp. Oh dear, so sorry. If you got this card, what this means is there are people around you who are not being completely honest. So remember, you can still have this as still a 6-card reading. So even if you pick pile number 1 or 2, I want you to be mindful of cards 3 and 4. So the Wasp is, there is someone around you who is sabotaging your success. And if you want to love yourself forward to experience more success, perhaps the things, like the Lady of the Lake, the things we need to cut out of our life are the people who work at undermining us. Undermining our work, sabotaging our success. They're jealous, they're enraged, and people who just want to bring you down. The other thing is sometimes we do this to ourselves. So, there could be that waspy Wilma character in your psyche. I do Debbie Ford's The Dark Side of the Light chases her shadow work. So waspy Wilma could be the voice inside your head that says, you'll never be good enough. You can't do that. What will other people think of you? The one who is putting the little stings in your ear and is trying to bring you down. So be mindful. It could be someone else in your circle. Could be someone you've just recently met and you're not sure about. This could be the sign that, yep, this person's not for you. And it could even be you. All right, so it's anger, retaliation, and jealousy. Unfortunately, I find when that card comes up, there is usually somebody in your circle who is being the wasp, who is just doing something to bring you down. And look, let's be kind. People don't hurt you out of their healing. They hurt you out of their wounded places, and they're really hurting themselves the most when they do that, because then you're not going to want to hang out with them. They've just lost a friend. Do you think they wanted that? I don't think so. Hurt people hurt people. That was my experience. That's what I did to people, and I self-sabotaged my relationships because I didn't believe that I was worthy of love and belonging. And it took me a long time to learn these lessons. And I've still got a waspy Wilma. She didn't go anywhere. She might be quieter these days, but yeah, she didn't go anywhere. Okay, perception. So, what Spirit want you to do is think about things. Look at things in a different way. And I won't try and stuff up the Wayne Dyer quote again, but it's like, yeah, maybe it is about self-worth, and our value and belonging. Perhaps there could be people you are keeping in your circle because you think they're the only friends you're going to get, the only friends you deserve. And I want to tell you, and Spirit wants to tell you, that you deserve so much more. And, if you want to love yourself forward and experience great success in your life, you must build a quality circle. And if there's only one person in your circle and that's you, and you treat yourself the best, then that's enough for now. The other good people will be attracted to you as you raise your vibration. So perception. Perhaps you haven't been seeing how you've been treating yourself if you've been the waspy Wilma, and perhaps you haven't been seeing the people in your circle in a true light. Perhaps they're hiding their actions very cleverly. So then my suggestion to you would be, Spirit, thank you for taking the blinders off. The other thing is, it's perception and deception. So we can't see the forest for the trees. Sometimes we need to really slow down and say, Spirit, I thank you for making me aware of the things I need to be aware of. All these little prayers are things, I've picked up along the way. If I don't know, I ask. So yeah, perhaps there's things happening on a world stage too we're not aware of right now, and our perception is clouded. We're just not seeing clearly enough because we're running around with our life suction cup to the end of our nose, as Colette says, and we need some space and some time, some detachment and distance, so that we can receive some clarity and get back on track. Fear. I'm getting a lot of fear too if you pick pile number 3, that you're reacting out of fear, and that needs to stop. So it's time for you to slow down, take a break, take a step back so that you can gain some clarity. All right, I thank you so much for that. And if you noticed, if you go back and watch these videos, different card combinations will bring out different meanings of that card. So we had perception, I think, the other week, and I gave quite a different message because it was with a different card, not the wasp. So it's really interesting to work with the oracle cards in pairings like this to bring out those added layers. All right, if you want to learn, remember, if you want to learn how I read oracle cards, you can do that with me for free. Go over and join my Facebook group, Kylie's Oracle Circle. The other thing is we have a Venus-Pluto clash. I really like Alicia Yusuf Astrology and the Water Trio podcast over wherever you get your podcasts. They were talking about that. Yasmin Boland's been putting some posts out. So if you're feeling a little bit unloved or unloving, that could be why. It's really important to love yourself first, take excellent care of you, and then everything around you is going to fall into place. All right. Love to hear from you. Many, many blessings on your week. See you next week.